Shout out to this fan for inspiring the idea to this video. If you have any cool ideas for a future video, let me know in the comments below. I may just give you a shout out. What's up, Nass soldiers? I'm Ned Alliance, and today I'm doing the top 10 worst character designs in Star Wars. Now this top 10 list is going to range from canon to legends, and it's going to be counting not only just the worst looking characters, but also just the worst design characters from a story point as well. So ranging from lazy design, character designs that just don't make any sense, and overall just ugly characters. But with that said, before we begin, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Star Wars content. But with that said and out of the way, let's begin. Alright, starting at number 10, the guy who actually shot first, Mr. Greedo himself. So Greedo to me is almost like George Lucas was like sitting writing his script one day and a fly landed on his script. He's like, hey, stop bothering me, fly. And then he's like, wait a second. And he looked at this fly and he studied it and he was like, hey, why don't I take a fly and make it into a human? It's just like that one movie. It's genius! Now that's where I personally think the idea of Greedo came from. Now of course, this is number 10 because although I do think that Rodians are just disgusting creatures, and I already know someone in the comments is gonna say I'm racist, even though this is a movie franchise and not real people. But when it comes to Star Wars, people don't like their things messed with, so that's just how it goes. So like I said, although I do think that Rodians are ugly, the actual character design as well as the costume, it does make it look pretty cool. Although I would say it's ugly design, it's a really cool design too, so that's why it's number 10. At number 9, I have Maz Kanata. Now the thing that bothers me about Maz Kanata is the fact that she's just so plain. I've heard people compare her to a naked mole rat who likes to tan a lot. And it's so true, it's like the perfect analogy. Now the reason why she's at number 9 is because she is a lot like The Force Awakens. I think that they played her character safe, much like they played The Force Awakens safe. I feel like they could have did a little bit more with her character, made her look more cooler, actually made her do more stuff as well, but of course this is just about the character designs, so we'll stick with that for right now. But when it comes down to it, everything about her is just kind of very plain. The only thing she really has is those glasses, not to mention that people have called her butthole eyes too. So I mean, that's the internet for you. But like I said, the biggest problem I have with her design is that you can tell they played it safe, and I feel like they should have kind of went a little more out there with her design, but they didn't, so that's just how it is. At number 8, we have Salicious B. Crumb. You're probably thinking, who the heck is this guy? Well, he's Jabba's little rat monkey thingy that likes to laugh a lot. In fact, I was actually going to give Jabba this spot because of how ugly and big Jabba is, but after you think of all the engineering that kind of goes into making Jabba work, they had like 5 different guys moving him just to make him come alive. I think that's pretty cool. Where this little guy was just an ugly little puppet, and he laughed at everything. Why are you laughing, Salicious? Huh? Why are you laughing? How about I punch you? Won't be laughing then, will you? No! At number 7, we have Yarael Poof. Now, Yarael Poof was actually on the Jedi Council in episode 1, and he was the Jedi with the super long neck. Could you imagine being a Jedi with that long of a neck? Here's the thing about this character. I do like the idea of his character, but when you look at the practical ability with that long neck and being a Jedi and having lightsabers around you, it's a bad idea. And although I don't completely hate his design, I do think that they could have did a little bit better with it. At number 6, we have Boss Nass. Now one of the biggest problems with Boss Nass is the fact that his CGI is just not holding up all these years. There's a lot of stuff in The Phantom Menace that does hold up, and there's a lot of stuff that really does not, and Boss Nass is probably like the forefront of the things that just don't hold up. And another thing that always bothered me about his character was the fact that he kind of was just a fat Gungan. And all the other Gungans looked exactly alike, except for Jar Jar. He looked a little bit different. And then of course there was that general guy who looked a little bit different too. But all the rest of the Gungans looked exactly alike. So why the heck is the leader Gungan so big and fat? Probably because he's the one taking all the food and eating it, and everyone else isn't getting any. So I declare that Boss Nass is most likely a dictator, and he's also an ugly CGI creature that should probably just die. At number 5, we have Unkar Plutt. Now the thing that bothers me about Unkar Plutt, besides his name being just disgusting too, is the fact that his character is literally just ugly as shit. And I get it, he's ugly inside and outside because he's just an ugly person altogether. Yeah, I get that. We're supposed to hate him because he's Rey's antagonist in the beginning of the film. I get that. But he's essentially just a fat, ugly alien. And that's all he is. He doesn't really do anything else. And if you're gonna have a character who's not gonna really do anything, make them look really cool and extravagant. You know, maybe give him spikes or make him one of those blue elephant guys. You know, those guys are pretty cool. You know, I said it before and I'll say it again. There's a lot of times in The Force Awakens where they played it safe, and I feel like through their character designs, they did the exact same thing. So this is an example, just like Maz Kanata was, of Disney playing it safe for The Force Awakens. So I hope The Last Jedi doesn't have this basic of character designs in the future. At number 4, I have Yaddle. Now the reason why I do not like Yaddle's design is because it essentially is a Yoda clone, but with a wig. So not only does this character's existence kind of undermine Yoda's design as the fact that he's like kind of mysterious and no one really knows where he comes from, she just makes Yoda with a wig look really ugly. And guess what? It's also pretty boring too. Because like I said, it's literally Yoda's design with a wig. And to me, that's just pretty lazy. At number 3, I have Asajj Ventress. Now before I get a bunch of people mad at me, let me explain. When I first saw Ventress in the 2003 miniseries all the way back in the day, I really thought she was the ugliest character design I have ever seen. Now of course, with the newer Clone Wars, they kind of made her character look a lot more better, and they kind of made her more sexy of a character, which is a good thing, I guess. But I feel like she's just a very standard looking character. And what I mean by this is that she's very plain, and I feel like a character of her caliber and her story should just have better designs. I personally think what would have been cool is if Asajj Ventress was a really sexy looking chick. Now just bear with me for a second, it'll make sense in the end, I promise. Now my thought process would be Asajj Ventress would look like a sexy chick, and her character would be more flirtatious as well. For example of what I mean, in the Clone Wars, when we see Asajj Ventress and Anakin fighting, we never really have this feeling of Anakin having any emotion towards Ventress. You know, he's more like, oh, this is Ventress, I gotta fight her now. But what I think would have been cool, if Ventress was a really good looking chick, perhaps she would be a little bit more of a flirtatious enemy with Anakin. So when she and Anakin were to fight, there would be more of a, hey, you know, like I want to fight you because you're a Sith, but also you're a pretty chick too, so I'm kind of holding back as well. And then maybe this could further explain why Anakin did turn to the dark side, because he kind of had a slight of a love interest with a Sith in the past, and you know, he kind of liked her a lot. He liked the idea of the dark side kind of allowing him to do whatever he wants. But you know, it's a temptation to stuff. I think it'd be interesting. Now when it comes down to it, I didn't always like Asajj Ventress' designs, and I still really don't like it 100%, but her design has kind of grown on me, so I kind of let it go now. At number 2, we have the standard battle droid designs. The thing about this that bothers me is the fact that they're not exactly ugly. In fact, I think they're kind of sleek and cool looking, but these droid designs are literally cannon fodder. Now, I actually think there is a lore reason for why these droids look the way they do. I think it has something to do with the fact that they can use less metal to make these things, and then they're also could be destroyed pretty easily as well, so it makes it look like the Clone Wars can actually, you know, be easier for the clones in the future. But it does make you wonder, if the droids were designed to be destroyed, why did they even create the super battle droid in the first place? Interesting question that maybe never needs to be answered, but still interesting anyways. And at number 1, I have 9nub. The reason why 9nub really bothers me, besides the fact that I really just hate his character, and that laugh, hate that laugh, is that I feel like his design was created much like the way that Greedo's design was made up. I feel like one day George Lucas was just kind of writing the script, and then his wife walked in and put like a plate of pancakes in front of him, and then he looked at it and he's like, oh my god, it's genius! And that's how 9nub's design came to be. I never liked 9nub's design. I know a lot of people do. I don't really get it. He literally looks like a pancake face. And that's why I declare the ugliest character design in all of Star Wars is 9nub. But of course, that's just my opinion. What characters do you think have the ugliest designs? Let me know in the comments below. Please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Star Wars content. And until next time guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.